Great shot. Come on. Yeah!
Needs it.
The wonderful sights of the Spectrum Entertainment Complex located in Wyoming, Michigan, just outside of Grand Rapids. We've got a fantastic show for you today. It is the PWBA Grand Rapids Classic, and that's coming your way next here on Bowl TV. Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Spectrum Lanes, again inside the Spectrum Entertainment Complex for the PWBA Grand Rapids Classic Bowl TV Stepladder Finals, and what a show it's going to be. Alongside Sydney Brummett, my name is Emil Williams Jr. A pleasure to be here with you tonight. Oh, boy. Sydney, we've got the #1 seed in Birgit Noreiks. We've got the #2 seed in Verity Crawley. Making her first telecast of her young career, Lauren Pate is the #3 seed. In our opening match, Hope Gramley, who put on a show in the position round earlier today to move past Taylor Boltice. We'll talk more about that in just a second. And Dasha Kovalova, who at one point was the leader of the tournament and saw her ball reaction dip, therefore her position in the standings dip, but she held on to hang on to the #5 seed. And here she is in kind of a pseudo hometown or home game, if you will, for Dasha now. Living very close in Muskegon, Michigan. So our opening match, Sydney, Hope Gramley, Dasha Kovalova, a significant battle of sorts, but you had something that you talked about very early on in round 2 this afternoon, and it was about ball reaction on the fresh. How do you see this one playing out?
Absolutely. I really feel like Hope is the favorite in this match. And I know that sounds a little twisted because Dasha has a lot of experience under her belt. Hope just starting out her young career. It is, though, her second telecast of this season, 4th overall. She doesn't lack experience either, you know, between her time at McKendree and now her time on the PWBA Tour. But overall, Hope's ball roll and how she sees the lane is going to favor her in this match.
We talked about the #3 seed. That is Lauren Pate. And Lauren, you know, it's always a career accomplishment, certainly when a player makes their first telecast, the first opportunity to take home that professional title, in this case certainly a PWBA title. She is waiting in the wings. She's someone that many people have just kind of been waiting for that initial breakout, and they could start tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. Lauren is someone who this year came out in her debut of her coaching career. I think that's something that's really helped her. When you take on that coaching role, you're in the arena, you know, twice as much as you were before. And all that does is you gain more experience. She was just on a TV show with her girls for the Intercollegiate Team Championships. All that does is add to her bag of tricks, and it's going to allow her to be more confident here today.
Lauren, the head coach at Maryville University, and as Sydney just mentioned, a runner-up finish at the most recent Intercollegiate Team Championships. The #2 seed tonight, Verity Crawley. She has one title. She is the PWBA, or has won, excuse me, the PWBA Greater Nashville Open back in 2021. For Verity to only have one title, for the longest of times, it was Verity finishing second, finishing third, finishing fourth, making an abundance of shows. She won in 2021, and she told me she feels like she is kind of back to where she had previously been back in 2021 when she made 6 shows. What might it take for her to get it done tonight?
Honestly, I think it's just Verity being Verity. You know, she has friends in the building. Her best friend came to surprise her. So her being here with Verity, I think is, you know, that good mojo that she needs. And she just needs to be present and stay here. The lanes are going to favor her. She can move further left than everybody else a little bit more quickly. She can really slow down that ball speed. I think Verity is a favorite that we have to watch out for, pending that there's a little hook to the right.
And the #1 seed tonight, perhaps the most consistent player of our 5 finalists, Birgit Noreiks. Birgit just continued to do what she does best. She did not miss, she missed one makeable spare. She told me it was in the final game of match play. Real quickly before we get this thing underway, where do you see Birgit falling here tonight?
You know, Birgit's going to be hard to beat because she is so consistent, but as we saw the lanes transition, she was very much a little troublesome, just like everybody else with ball reaction. I think that makes it a coin flip.
And folks, we are about ready for action here. The hug. Hope Gramley versus Dasha Kovalova. This is the second show of the season for Hope Gramley, for Dasha, it's the third consecutive show. She has made the show, excuse me, in Spokane, then on to the Queens, and now the first event of the Grand Rapids Classic Series, the Grand Rapids Classic. Hope, the higher seed, has elected to begin the match. I think it was Spokane where the higher seed elected to go first every single time.
Yes.
First shot for Hope Gramley. Bang.
It's important to note that Hope is already starting with what I believe is her ball down from the first ball she was throwing for the entire week so far. Lanes must be hooking a little bit earlier. Pretty prototypical to what we've seen for the last few weeks going into these stepladder finals.
I feel that one thing that is not too far off, and even though obviously lights are different when we're talking about TV to a bowl TV stepladder, network TV that is, the way the players tend to break down the lanes, that part seems to translate from both TV to a stepladder on bowl TV.
Absolutely.
Opening shot for Dasha Kovalova. And that one crossed over, and she will leave a 10-pin to start. Mom is just to our left, Sydney. I mentioned the pseudo home away from home now for Dasha, now living in Muskegon, Michigan, just about 45 minutes away from where we are, working with Brunswick. It's an opportunity with, again, some more familiar faces in a position that, as you mentioned, quite frankly, she is now familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely. Dasha is no stranger to these shows, and it's not that you ever get comfortable. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I know that's not necessarily true. They all tell us, right? I'm not that it's not going to be perfectly cozy. But Dasha is familiar with being on TV shows. She knows what the feeling is like, although there's sure still some nervousness, because nervousness comes from caring about something. She's still going to feel that way. And also, she'll know how to handle it a little bit better than maybe someone who has less experience, like Hope.
I want to thank Cecil Scarborough, who has joined us in the booth tonight's statistician. Thanks, Cecil. First shot on the left lane for Kovalova. Much better shot.
It's a great shot from Dasha. I noticed I went to go get a ball that I'm going to be using for tomorrow's event, and they had drilled Dasha another outer limits, what I believe was during the break. I'd be interested to know what the difference is between the one she was throwing earlier today and this one, or if this is the one she was throwing earlier today. But she has thrown that ball pretty much all season. It's a very controllable asymmetric piece.
Seemed to be a very popular piece of equipment specifically for Dasha. She referenced it during her good performance yesterday. Didn't like that one, did Hope. And a 310 there. You see Dasha, she did this off camera. She went to put a ball back, but she was making a tape adjustment late in match play in round number 2. The replay there, Hope didn't like it from the start, crossed over and leaves 310.
Yeah, since knowing Dasha, even at practice, when we were at school together at Wichita, she was always very particular about her tape, how her tape felt. She wanted the feel to be just right. And we always joked around because her unfortunate miss there from Hope, her tape bag was always just this giant mess that she never cleaned up. And then she actually did it the other day at Brunswick, and I kind of giggled to myself. I didn't say anything, but we were at headquarters together, and she was cleaning out her tape bag, and it was just like this mound of old tape ready to be thrown in the trash. Coach Lewis always used to get on to her about it, like, clean that thing out.
Sim and Dasha had a little bit of tape residue every now and then, and some thumb holes.
Just once in a while.
After the open frame from Hope, she'll step up left lane. Push a little, push a lot. Nice shot to open up. She's got the left lane down. Here's a good look. giving away 3 bowling balls, speaking of equipment, throughout the Stepladder final. Kovalova, early double. Trip 4, take some names on the way.
I love a good trip 4. I don't know what it is. But then the flip side to that is I always get a little mad when I don't trip it. I'm a little sassy. But it has been confirmed, thanks to our main man Cecil over here, that Dasha does have a new outer limits. It is drilled a little bit weaker than the one we've seen her throwing more recently. It's also a little bit more shiny. We talked a lot about that during the second round of match play. Those shinier pieces allow the ball to get through the front part of the lane in the best way possible for the ball to go through the pins properly.
22-pin lead now for Kovalova, looking for more. How about 3 in a row? Bang! Ball reaction looking, I mean, almost a complete 180 from the last time we saw our match play. Excuse me, Sydney.
It's so different. It's so different. Earlier today we saw her ball hooking a little bit too early, and then she would go high, make a move, bucket, because she was moving from one side of that huge strip of oil down the middle of the lane to the other. And that was a little bit of a struggle. Now she can stay laying her ball down in that strip of oil and getting it just outside of it to the dry.
It's 44-foot lane condition. Did not like it again on that right lane, and this time an even bigger split in the big 4.
Both of the shots from Hope look as if they're simply misses to the left. We've seen all of her misses today be in that direction.
Hope shot 255 to get on the show. She gave it a run. That's a way to maximize count there.
Absolutely.
On the big 4. You see how close she came to making this one. 255 to move ahead of Taylor Boltice, who had commandeered the 5th seed with 1 game to go, the position round. She went in needing to beat Taylor by 28 pins. And then it became a situation where not only was she going to get back onto the show, move from 6th to 5th, but then because of Dasha's low game, she went from 6th to 4th and had the higher seed. And of course, choice of lane. Trailing by 44. The Aubrey, Texas native. And nearly a split again. Sid, what are you seeing here?
Hope just doesn't look quite as comfortable as we've seen her. Ball wants to hook quite a bit earlier than it did for her from what I've seen both yesterday during the qualifying and today during the match play. She is into a shinier piece, a quicker response ball. I understand that the fronts are hooking early. However, quicker response bowling balls do not care where the friction is. So if the friction's in the front part of the lane, it's going to respond to that friction that's in the front part of the lane. It's not going to wait until the end of the pattern just because that's what we want it to do. So if I was Hope thinking about something that's a little bit slower, rather than quick response, but that has a higher surface on it, similar to what Dasha's doing.
Phase 3, by the way, that Hope is using. Will she continue? We'll find out. Meanwhile, Kovalova, the light mixer, the light mixer.
That's when bowling Dasha becomes scary. She loves to use the hold. She is extremely good at keeping it in front of her. Her ball roll allows her to do that. It goes through the pins very well. But when Dasha becomes scary to bowl against is when she has missed room to the right as well. We just saw her miss a little bit more to the right than she would have loved. And it comes in for a light mixer. The pins fall down the way she would prefer.
Dasha looking like the player that we've seen for about 95% of the tournaments. Struggled with that ball reaction as the hold went away later in the match play round blocks. Dasha did struggle a little bit, but off to a great start here. Looking for 5 in a row. That one's through the nose. She'll leave the 3-6-10.
That was just left off of her hand the entire way. She's grateful to only leave the 3-6-10. It felt like when you missed the left on the fresh, both today and yesterday, you were scared you were going to split because the back ends are so sharp.
The Medusa spare ball created, drawn, the artiste that we know as Dasha Kovalova. She'll take care of the spare, and we should see or might see a pending ball change here potentially. Not quite yet. At least at the moment, we didn't see a different ball go on the rack, so looks like the same phase 3.
Sometimes you just have to like threaten the one you're throwing, and then you magically somehow hit the 1-3.
That was the best shot on the right lane.
Just trying to scare your current ball into having good ball reaction.
We were talking about 10 pins earlier, and helping educate the viewers on, watching your ball go through the pocket and the way a 10 pin is left. You saw the 6 pin just wrap right around on the lower side of that 10 pin. Hope trailing by 52.
Yeah, and to some extent, until it happens a couple of times in a row, you are centimeters from 10 back in either direction, whether you're a little bit more high flush or you're a little bit lighter on the head pin. So until it happens to her a couple of times in a row, she's probably not going to be quite so frustrated with that leave.
Again, waiting in the wings, the number 3 seed, Lauren Pate, making her first championship round appearance. She will face the winner of Hope Gramley and Dasha Kovalova. That one did not tip. Didn't miss left certainly that time. And a 2-8-10.
When you're, as a player, when we are uncomfortable with our ball reaction, it is entirely customary to have larger misses because you're on the approach and you're not confident. She goes back up at it. Wasn't that got her? But when you're uncomfortable and you don't see your ball reaction, it makes it really hard to only be focused on hitting your target at 15 feet. It becomes, what should I do next? Am I doing the right thing? Is this gonna be the right move? I'm not so sure.
Big lead continues to grow now for Kovalova. I do admire Hope trying to go for that. At this point, certainly, you gotta try to do whatever you can against a competitor like Kovalova, who is certainly lined in.
If you're Dasha at this point, you're using these next 3 frames to remain comfortable. You have the opportunity, if you're starting to see the lane change, make a move that you may not if you were in the position of must strike.
68 pin advantage. Our Dasha, who is looking for title number 6. I'll say that again, folks. Dasha looking for title number 6. Another one.
I watched the Queen show from our Airbnb in Vegas, and it looks like a different Dasha today. Her body language is different. The Queens, it felt a little like, I just don't want to lose. A great shot there can help. A little bit like, I don't want to lose. I really, want the opportunity to win. And now today her body language is a little bit more, I'm here. I know I have great ball reaction. I'm seeing the lanes the right way. She's comfortable. She's pretty much at home.
Max score for Hope, 189. And this has been a popular jersey. Many were talking about it in the chat. She was essentially telling folks to get their popcorn ready. Back-to-back shots, 2 great ones for Hope. And at the very least, she will leave this match knowing that, of course, she threw some great shots. She knew she was capable, more than capable. This is her 4th show, folks, in the last, I can't even say 2 full seasons. She only bowled a handful of events. She was still in college last year when she finished 5th at the Queens and 3rd at the Pepsi Classic. This year, already made the show at the Spokane Open, finishing 4th. This year, she's an official member and a rookie officially on tour as Kovalova continues, and this one is over.
Absolutely. I got to, my best friend, she just got married on the 27th of May.
Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out Ashlyn Hersberg. She's in Jamaica. Get it, girl.
Montego Bay?
To what?
Montego Bay?
I don't know where she is. Just in Jamaica. Like somewhere
Come on,
there.
Sid.
I
You're
don't
trying
know.
to book a flight.
Like, homegirl needs to have her time by herself. Okay, but Hope was in attendance at the wedding as well. And it was really cool to see her outside of this environment, simply because each of us have these really big personalities, but we don't always show it when we're in the building. And I have not known Hope for very long, but she was so pleasant to be around there, and it was cool to see her outside of this and just how fun and how loving she is towards everyone around her. So at this point, I have become a really huge Hope Gramley fan, and I think we're going to see a lot of her for the rest of the season.
Dasha, of course, with the match wrapped up, in a great position to try some things if she would like, and you certainly anticipate her to do so. Dennis mentioned in the chat that when we were talking about Dasha making some tape changes, that she went ahead and made a full switch grip, or IT, or it, I beg your pardon, change as well, which, obviously your fit's got to be right to feel pretty good.
Yeah, that's why we have those interchangeable thumbs, right? That's why we have our its, is so that way when one feels not so great today, I have this other one I can go to.
I'm going to make sure I get those names right, too, because I don't want to be disrespecting the brands. It. Sorry, Cecil. 265 for Dasha Kovalova. What a game to start this championship round. As we look at Hope, Sid, you can just see the forecast happen, right? The future. Bright is not even a thing. It's immaculate. It's lit up by the stars. For someone to have such a short experience span, essentially, on tour and in professional events, she comes in every week prepared, ready to go, ready to bowl. Obviously, that week's challenge is that week's challenge, and I anticipate her to be ready to go tomorrow. Obviously, short turnaround because the Bowl TV Classic starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Absolutely. Who she reminds me of on the men's tour is Anthony Simonson. There are so many people who say, oh, you have to come out on tour and you have to have a hard time your first couple of years. You have to learn. And Simo really took that and said, I don't need to do that. He came out and he said, I'm going to win my first major at 18, my first year out on tour. And Hope is coming out and saying the exact same thing. I don't need years of experience to make a run at these titles. Get out your popcorn and watch me.
265 to 178, your final score. Dasha Kovalova with the victory. She will advance and face Lauren Pate. That is next. But first, we will hear a word from one of our proud gold partners in Brunswick. And then following that, we will give away a Brunswick Mindset Bowling Ball. That's all coming up next.
We want to welcome to the PWBA Winner's Circle, Brianna Klemmer.
Let's Tolkien, the Long Island Classic champion.
Dasha Kovalova, your 2022 PWBA Pepsi Classic champion.
And congratulations to Birgit Noreiks, your 2022 Queen's Champion.
Your game is up.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, inside Spectrum Lanes, one match down. And the next match coming up next, it is Dasha Kovalova versus Lauren Pate. Lauren is the number 3 seed. The Brunswick Mindset giveaway should be off and running. You should see that in the bottom lower third of your screen. If you are watching a full screen right now, I would encourage you to exit out of full screen so you can see those lower third prompts. Just follow each clock as it elapses. When you see submit entry, all you got to do is click there, and you will be entered to win a Brunswick Mindset. Big thanks to Brunswick, proud gold partner of the PWBA Tour. Sydney Brummett, Dasha dominant in the opening match. Lauren Pate has a knack for striking as well. I expect this one to be pretty high scoring.
Absolutely. It was a little, actually I would say probably a lot unexpected from me to see how much Hope struggled in that first match. It tells us how much these lanes are hooking in comparison to what they were in the first game or two in the rounds of match play. The lanes didn't sit for as long, very prototypical. We see it almost every single step ladder that we watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Lauren and Dasha combat that. We're seeing Lauren right now in her warm-up shots. She's throwing balls that she would usually throw in games 2 or 3 rather than on the fresh. I expect to see the same out of Verity and Birgit as we move through the stepladder finals.
Yeah, and some of that equipment that Lauren did throw, Black Widow Ghost, in fact, is what she said saved her late to make the show. She also threw a Game Breaker 2 as well as a Brunswick Infinity. So those might be some of the pieces of equipment that we will see in the hands of Lauren Pate. That Brunswick Mindset, by the way, folks. Oh, let's see. This dude Ryan, congratulations. Or this dude Ryan, I think it is. Yeah, this dude _ Ryan. How about that? And that's DOOD. Okay. I like the specificness of that name, but either way, you got yourself a Brunswick Mindset. Congratulations. The Bowl TV crew, marketing squad will be in touch with you via email. It will be the email that you use to log in and out of Bowl TV. Be on the lookout. We'll get all of the information, details, address to get you your piece of equipment. Congratulations, and we'll have 2 more for you, courtesy of Storm and Roto Grip. Those are to follow. Take a look at Lauren Pate here. Final warm-up shots. You see one of the ball reps for the Brands of Brunswick, Jeff Smith, in the right corner of your screen. Thoughts on lane play? You saw what Dasha was doing. Will we see Lauren in a similar area of the lane?
Very similar. She will be a little bit further left just simply because Lauren is a little bit more tumbly, a little bit more forward with her ball roll, so that will force her feet a little bit further more into the oil, so the ball doesn't want to pick up as soon. But overall, they'll be in very similar parts of the lane with very similar bowling balls.
Final announcements given by Robin Graves. Dasha Kovalova 265-178, a victory over Hope Gramley in our opening match. Lauren Pate, the higher seed. I think we are just waiting for the arrows to reverse, which means that Lauren may have elected to start the match.
Officially 2 for 2 on left lane starts by the higher seed.
There's that Black Widow Ghost. Some pieces of equipment are pretty easily to identify. I certainly appreciate the brands for making some of those equipment pieces easy to look at. And not what you hope for, certainly to start 4-7-10.
Absolutely not. Nothing told me that she didn't quite like that one. She felt surprised, or at least her body language said she felt surprised.
She'll take the count. Now, this is Lauren's first show. So perhaps that opening frame, going to remove those jitters out the way. Question now will be, can Dasha Kovalova continue this great momentum?
Dasha sticking with the outer limit she threw the entire last match. We see her first wrap 10.
Mean.
That was a gross one. I said it during the second round of match play. I think I would rather flat 10 than wrap 10 because at least I did something wrong.
I like that. Easy to identify, kind of quote unquote, if you will.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, not bad. I'll do something different next time. Wrap 10s, I'm like, all right. I'll try again. Ball will be right back.
All right, spare made. It's opening frame for Dasha. We got some signs in the building. Big thanks to everyone here at Spectrum Lanes, specifically Mike Eaton Jr., Mike Hoffman, the entire staff, and the Eaton family. Wonderful hospitality. What a center, and certainly they've been going through some things, certainly with the passing of the great Mike Eaton. We appreciate them and all that they not only do for bowling, but certainly this week hosting the Grand Rapids Classic Series.
I've been around the Eaton family for about a decade, a little over a decade now, and it has always been a pleasure. It was really sad to hear about the passing of Mike, and also grateful that we can honor him and be here in this amazing center that I grew up coming here, and it's always been one of my favorite places to come. And this amazing remodel that they've done, perfect place to have a tour stop. Or 3.
And perfect place for Dasha to put another one on the board. You saw the high flush there. 7-pin went last. Lauren Pate, originally from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota.
We got a second frame ball change to her New Brunswick Infinity.
Quality shot. You saw that 6-pin want to give the 10 to clip, but it did not.
Infinity is a little bit longer, slower response than a Black Widow Ghost.
This is a big moment for the Pate family. And I know Mike, Debbie, Nick. I was supposed to say Josh first, by the way. I messed that up. Lauren told me to say it.
It's always Josh first. Josh.
The official twin Josh and Nick. But in all seriousness, of course, Lauren's fiance, Matt Russo, is here. They will be getting married October 17th. Speaking of Jamaica, they are headed to Jamaica to get married in October. So 2 different balls, 1 on each lane. Of course, you go high first frame, first shot on the left lane, and now missed the head pin, or just clipped the head pin going away to the right.
It'd be interesting to know what's going through Lauren's head on why she wanted to throw 2 different balls, 1 on each lane.
Good spare. Certainly choppable.
Sorry, that we know that there was a little bit of a thought and hope spraying to throw a cleaner piece on the right lane as well, just like Lauren is with the Infinity. But we also saw Hope stick with her phase 3 on that right lane for the last couple shots and be a little firmer, and the ball did the right thing. comes down to the player's comfort level of, do I want to see the just right ball reaction, or maybe use, you know, my versatility skills to be able to use the same ball in both lanes.
Dasha with a 13-pin lead. Trying to extend it. No. Messenger thought about it. Elected to head on to the back of the pin deck there. As these matches continue to go down, Sid, we're already seeing through obviously 3 frames here. Something that, you know, a little bit different than what Dasha had in the opening match. Should we expect the scores to start to kind of level out and move in a downward trend? Not saying they're going to be terrible. 202 team as opposed to 260.
Yeah, I would expect it to be that way. It's much more difficult, especially as women, to get our ball to go through the pins the correct way once we start sliding far enough to the left. We have to be matched up in just the right way. Now, we could see one of these 4 women, figure out the perfect matchup, and she could have a great game, similar to what we saw Hope do in that final game of match play to make the show. But overall, we're going to see scores start to taper off between 2-team, 220.
Left lane Dash. That one had to hurry, and she gets a very good break, maybe another one.
That was quite firm into the right off of Dasha's hand. Gets the break. 2-pin goes late.
If you're just joining us, Dasha defeated Hope Gramley 265 to 178 in the opening match. Now Kovalova with a 12-pin advantage over number 3 seed Lauren Pate, making her first championship round appearance. Just clipped it with the 5-time titleist. Lauren looking for her first strike. It would just be the second amongst both players. Had a chance to take claim to the number 1 seed. She was in a position round match with Birgit Noreiks. She was second at that time. Shot 167. Verity Crawley went around her. There's one.
It was a great shot from Lauren. Kept it in front of her. She's very up the back of the ball.
Are now going to throw the infinity on both lanes.
She ends up going a little bit high, leaving the 3-6. She executed that shot well. Just needs to play them quite a bit different.
Much different match and feel, certainly, because of the scoring pace. Just 12 at the moment. As Pink takes care of business. Lauren graduated from McKendree in 2019. A bachelor in sociology, social work. Then got her master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. She's been on tour. I believe she joined us right after graduation in 2019. She's got a high finish of 6, and actually was last year at a Classic Series, in fact, on Long Island in 2022. Back to Kovalova. Hook. Ooh, wow. Messenger right in front of the 10-pin, Sid.
So what's interesting about this, Dasha has now 10-pin 3 times in a row on this lane. The first one was a wrap 10. The second was, you know, a 6-pin that tried to do its job, fell in the gutter kind of late. And then a messenger missing the 10-pin is essentially a flat 10 with a lot of velocity. And so it's just continuously not going through the pins as she would want to. Knowing Dasha, seeing that, it'll probably be a little bit of a move to the left and slow down. She obviously likes the ball motion. She's sticking with it. So she loves to use her versatility skills. She has worked extremely hard to build those up. She'll trust the good ball motion and make her small versatility move.
Dasha originally from Ukraine, went to Wichita State, a teammate, of course, of one Sydney Brummett.
Go Sharks.
A major champion, won the USBC Queens in Wichita at North Rock Lanes in 2019. Shot a nationally televised 300 game to win the Pepsi Louisville Open in 2019. Bang! A shot there in the 6th frame, because to me this one was trending, Sid, where the longer Lauren was allowed to kind of stay in this match, you anticipate her ball reaction to continue to improve.
Absolutely. What's interesting is both Lauren and Hope have chosen to start on this left lane, and it has seemed to trick both of them. A lot of people will pick a lane based on how much miss room they feel like they have on it. You know, if I really need one, I'm going to pick the lane I feel like I can miss more on. To me, that means that 29 hooks more. And when you're going through those practice shots, your heart rate's a little bit more elevated. You're really excited. You're going to throw it a little bit firmer.
Wow, that one was left. I actually thought it might have gone Brooklyn, but it held and nearly left the 7-9. It was left the 4th arrow about 22. Oop, that's a oop.
Oop. Get a little scared. Get a little bit scared. There was a time throughout qualifying that you'd be able to play kind of to the right of that strip, going down the middle of the lane. And eventually, it wasn't a baby move to the left. It was like a 2-in-1 became 2 dots in 1 arrow type of feeling instead of 2 boards in one board. And that feels like what's going on right now for Lauren.
And throughout it all, through 6 frames, she's still in the match, trailing by just 12, as neither player has yet to double. This lane condition, 44 feet with 26 mils, 2-to-1 with that strip of oil. Little carry, never hurt nobody.
Looks like Lauren moved quite a bit on that left lane. We've seen it throughout qualifying yesterday, throughout match play today. The light swishers, the light hits carry. So there's no need to be afraid to make that bigger move to the left.
Let's look at Spectrum lanes here. Restaurant is fantastic. Woody's Press Box. I've had at least 1 meal here every day. Great name too for a restaurant. Gotta find out. That person must love sports. How about it? Oh, maybe the best one.
Absolutely, that was definitely a little move to the left, a little slower, a little bit more around it. She's going to go a little bit slower because she's moving into more oil, so she needs to get the ball to slow down closer to her, and she's also going to get her hand more around it because as we move further left, we need our ball to store a little bit more energy to go through the pins the right way.
First to double with Dasha Kovalova, and then extends her lead to 22 pins. Max score now 248. Can she make it 3 in a row? Oh my, and a Greek church steps up and invites Dasha for Sunday breakfast.
Watching it, I was begging for it to hold. I would assume that she was as well and is simply disappointed with paying full price for that mistake.
Full price indeed. The complexion certainly of this match changing. She gets 3. Her first open following the double brings that max down to 209. And Lauren Pate now. Golden opportunity. Trailing by just 3. Could have a lead change here shortly. Remember, Verity Crawley, your number 2 seed, will face the winner of this match. Pate, opportunity, bang. Beautiful shot in the 8th frame.
It's one of the best shots we've seen from Lauren so far this match. She threw that one with a lot of conviction.
Conviction, that's a fantastic word. And I feel that to succeed in this sport, in life, really, when you elect to do things, whatever it is, you have to have some level of conviction behind it. You got to believe it. You got to attack it.
Unfortunately, in bowling, the pins know when you are lacking that. And you could have the best ball reaction, awesome physical game, but if you lack conviction, for some reason, they just won't fall down.
Ow, and another one for Lauren Pate. That previous shot in the 8th resulted in the lead change. Now 3 in a row as we watch this one hit the pins. Dasha, for all intents and purposes, certainly needs them all. Force Lauren to make a mistake late. That's one. At least a double here in the 10th frame.
This is another great shot from Dasha on that right lane. She hit the pocket every time. 3 10 pins, all of the different varieties of them. Followed by 2 more great shots on that lane. Previous to that, she struck every time on the left lane until we saw the uncharacteristic miss to the left, which resulted in a full price Greek church. If you're her in this moment, knowing that you need them, you make a small move, put a good shot on line, and hope that all 10 fall down.
Another huge shot there. This one is super important. If Dasha gets the next one here, she's going to force Lauren Pate to strike the first shot in the 10th frame.
Be curious to know if Verity is off to the side, watching, noting that this left lane has become troublesome. What
a shot.
That was an incredible shot from Dasha.
The patented Dasha look afterwards.
It's kind of scary, but like in a good way.
Final shot for Dasha. Changes the fill opportunity, at least the second shot, I should say, for Lauren Pate. Must strike. First shot in the 10th frame. Lauren Pate, her first opportunity in a championship round appearance. She's shown that knack to come up clutch when necessary. Here's that moment. Lauren Pate. Oh my goodness, the 2-8 goes.
That's what you hope happens when you don't throw it right. You know, she misses to the right. It's really firm. Pin's bouncing off the wall to help her out. She needs 6 here for 208. That gives her the win.
And Lauren Pate is going to advance. She wins her first match, her first championship round appearance.
Lauren's gonna try a different ball. It was off on the warm-up pair. Looks like it's a GB2. So a big symmetrical piece from the Ebonite brand.
Another great run, another great tournament for Dasha Kovalova. This was her 16th career championship round appearance. 3 in a row again, folks, for Dasha Kovalova. She's on that type of run again. The Wyoming and Grand Rapids faithful love Dasha. 225 to 207.
I'm sorry. Lauren Pate versus Verity Crawley. Charges to my head, not my heart. All right, bowling fans. Our remaining finalists will get some warm-up shots here on championship pairs. Then we'll be out for our semi-final match. Who's gonna take the title? That Grand Rapids Classic.
All right, number 2 seed, Verity Crawley, coming up next. But first, a word from RotoGrip, and following that word, a RotoGrip bowling ball of choice. That's our next giveaway. That's next here on Bowl TV.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Johnson.
Hi, I'm Shannon O'Keefe,
and this is Duo.
Announcing the latest breakthrough from RotoGrip, the Duo, a new symmetrical bowling ball that performs on and off the lanes. HP3 striking power. Plus, a portion of every Duo purchase will be donated to Big Brothers and Big Sisters. That's Big Brothers and Big Sisters everywhere.
We're Shifani, and that's the Duo from RotoGrip.
Teaming up to make a difference. For Big Brothers and Big Sisters, you and the Duo from RotoGrip.
Passing my love of bowling down to my daughter has been a gift, and I'm praying that one day she becomes better than Dad.
It's become a very important part of my life. My name's Jeremy Hatcher, and I've been bowling certified since 1989.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
Bowl certified.
If you're for bowling, bowl certified.
Your game is about to get better.
see our top 2 seeds now on the lanes, getting a few shots in. Verity Crawley, your number 2 seed. She will be next. The Roto Grip bowling ball of choice. That giveaway is now underway. Same rules apply. Get out of full screen so you can see the prompts. When you see submit entry, make sure you click there and give yourself an opportunity to come up with a Roto Grip bowling ball of choice. And I don't know, man, there's so many pieces of equipment out there that you can choose whatever you'd like. So good luck to all of you for watching and participating. We welcome you back into the booth. Emil Williams Jr. with Sidney Brummett. And Sid, you know, the first 5 or 6 frames of our previous match, it was like a whose line is it anyway, that kind of thing, right? We thought Dasha was the first to double, and that might be the Kickstarter, and then the Greek Church in the 8th frame, and that proved to be the difference as Lauren Pate threw the back 6 to get it done.
Absolutely. Lauren made a clutch ball change in, I believe it was the 4th frame, to the infinity on both lanes. A little bit slower piece allowed her to control the back ends more, not force her feet to the left. That decision and that conviction that followed was really what determined her fate in that match.
Conviction word, I love that, certainly again, and we'll go to the lanes to take a look at Verity Crawley's warm-up shots here. There was some talk in the chat, and some very good talk, by the way. Make sure you click submit entry. Where would Verity play, knowing how she would prefer to play the lanes? I think she would be in sort of a comfort zone where Dasha was, where Lauren Pate was. We'll watch, but where do you think she's going to end up?
She'll end up a little bit further left than both Dasha and Lauren, simply because of her rev rate and her rotation. It will allow her to use what they have developed as a little bit of hook to her right. If she stands on top of it, she may not have as much hold as they do to her left, but if she can get just a little bit to the left of them, even if it is sliding 2 or 3 further left, that still will give her a little bit more hook to the right. Let's see where she slides. Yep, that's about 2, maybe 3 further left than we've seen the other girls. It will give her ultimately more room to play with, assuming she throws it great, of course.
Congratulations to Sean, the winner of the Roto Grip bowling ball of choice. Again, the Bowl TV marketing squad will be in contact with you via email to make sure you get your Roto Grip bowling ball of choice. That is the process for all of our giveaways. Shout out to Patrick Martinez. We gave away a very cool Queen's athlete credential signed by all 5 TV finalists. That was the giveaway for the end of match play. And again, thank you to all of our gold partners, Brunswick, Storm, Roto Grip, for their bowling ball giveaways and the opportunity to make you more involved, our wonderful Bowl TV viewers. Our number 1 seed, of course, don't forget Birgit Noreiks. She is waiting in the wings. She will have 1 game to win what would be her 4th PWBA title. But first and foremost, Verity Crawley, one of the more popular players certainly on the PWBA tour. She missed the cut at the Queens last week, Sid, and she had an opportunity to take some time and go back to England, see the family. She got a chance to meet her new baby niece for the first time. And she told me prior to the start of our telecast tonight that was a big help, a huge mental reset. And obviously, when she doesn't, we've all at some point haven't been able to go home, right? And so that could be a big factor in this one. Verity coming in a bit more comfortable in a different place mentally.
Oh, absolutely. She has such a great support system at home. She loves her family so much. She's quite close with her mom. And so to be able to go home and see them, she told me she had been planning on going home, but having the couple of extra days was just beautiful. And, you know, she has 4 of her really good friends sitting behind her, which for her, that's everything.
First shot. Verity Crawley. She's on the board. Also chose to start the match as the higher seed.
On the left lane.
On the left lane.
Wild. I think we should develop a conspiracy theory that on the ladies' tour, higher seeds only start on the left lane.
Well, I don't remember what happened at the Queens, but again, last time we were together in Spokane, that's how it went down.
It's crazy. Wild. Maybe they know something we don't know.
Perhaps. Now Lauren Pate winning her first match, the Stepladder Finals appearance, 225 to 207. And she starts with a strike against Verity Crawley.
She's stuck with the infinity that she was throwing for the last half of that game on both lanes.
It's been the better of the two lanes for Lauren Pate. 4 of 7, making now 5 of 8 on that right lane. She was just 2 of 5 on the left lane, speaking of strikes. Ooh, high flush. Big double. It took Lauren Pate to the 7th and 8th frames to double in match number, or excuse me, in her opening match, match 2 overall here tonight.
Absolutely. Just taking that extra second to get comfortable. You know, it's her first television appearance, her first championship round appearance. It's going to take a second.
Verity, right lane. You saw how deep she had to get. But yet, not a lot of circle in that. Pretty direct overall.
Absolutely. She's just playing catch with the 3-pin at this point and then letting the ball do the work down lane. She's throwing a relatively shiny phase 2. A bigger symmetric piece from the SPI family.
For 3 in a row. And a week 10. Tin pin made for Verity Crawley.
If we're going to see misses from Verity this match, more than likely they're going to be a 3-6-10, a flat 10, or a 2-10.
1 pin advantage for Lauren Pate. Step up and make it 3 in a row here. And Sydney Brummett mentioned when Lauren began her first match against Dasha Kovalova, she was throwing 2 different balls, 1 on each lane. She made the switch to throw this ball both lanes, and it's paid off. Oh, and nearly a 7-10 as the 7 goes late.
Occasionally, Lauren will get just a little bit firm. You'll see her get up on her toe here, just a little bit. But when you have good ball motion, oftentimes the leave when you make those small mistakes is something simple like a flat 10.
And ourselves an even match. Oh, what a great start for Lauren Pate, now her second match in a championship round appearance. 26 years old, 4-time Team USA member. Again, originally from Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. Now living in Baldwin, Missouri, and the St. Louis area. Head coach at Maryville University. And a little 2-pin there.
I liked this shot from Lauren. Just, the infinity wants to go just a tad bit too long. She could choose to gear down with her ball speed. because if she moves right, the problem is it will hook a little bit too close to her. And she'll go high and she'll 3-6-10. That was the constant challenge that the ladies had for the last 2 days was, okay, my ball is hooking too early. I'm going to make this move to the left. Now what do I have to do to not two-pin?
Crawley on the bench receives a 1-pin lead for Verity. Now, career-wise, this is her 13th championship round appearance. She made her first 2 shows in her rookie season way back in 2017. It's kind of hard to believe it's been that long. Verity has been on tour by way of Weber International. High flush.
I think she is just as surprised as we are about that one. She smirks to her friends in the back like, oh, I think I got away with that one quite a bit. What was it that you said earlier? Holding?
That's right. Holding, offense, Verity Crawley.
I'll give you one more day of football until the finals for the Stanley Cup start tomorrow.
Fair enough. How about a double? Yeah, kind of similar to what Lauren Pate just experienced, but of course, 2-pin much better than a 2-4-5.
Absolutely. That left lane is forcing the women to move their feet further to the left. It's going to exaggerate that wet dry that we've seen. Little delay in the action here as we wait for the 4-pin to be set back up.
Well, it's an opportunity to again thank our gold partners you see in the top left corner: Brunswick, Kegel, Roto Grip, and Storm. My name is Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett, Cecil Scarborough, our statistician here in the booth, our producer tonight, Jason Thomas. There's a look at us. Hello, good to see you all.
Hi, team. Patrick
Martinez out and about as well, capturing some video highlights that you will see then later on the PWBA YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe too, by the way. YouTube shout-outs at PWBA Tour on YouTube.
We're back. 4-pin joined the party. Textbook conversion for Verity. She's going to come over and chat a little bit with Sean Ryan.
See, there's always a conversation and talk just about, you know, the roles that ball reps play. Take us inside that athlete-ball rep relationship and what it's like, not only round to round, week to week, but really in some instances frame to frame, certainly like this situation here.
It depends.
What's your favorite word?
Just, well, and it's true.
Well, you are correct.
It's true. Shot here from Lauren. That was a great shot. 10-pin goes late. It really does depend, and that's simply because ball reps and the athletes, we all have personalities, and we all have different likes and wants and needs as humans, and we're playing the human role first, you know, in this space. And so the number one thing that I've learned over the last couple of years is that ball reps are humans just like us. They don't have the just right answer at the just right time all the time. They know a lot about bowling. They are some of the most experienced people in bowling. They're watching thousands of balls go down the lane all the time. And so I would personally say that my relationship with each ball rep that I've had over the last few seasons, the last 4 seasons, this left lane seems to be getting a smidge tight down lane as we watch Lauren 2-pin. But that relationship has been different with each and every ball rep. I think about my relationship with Dino, who we had last week with us for the Brands of Brunswick at just that one stop at the Queens, versus my relationship with Jeff Smith, who's out here with us every single week. Right, Jeff gets to know me really well, and we're in the arena together, so we have to learn.
Oh my goodness, Lauren Pate. Make it closer, why don't you?
And Infinity has hips. Make sure you get yourself one.
We might have to take Lauren's wedding gift back.
Oh, But really, our job as players is to be respectful to our ball reps and to use them, you know, as a tool, and to know and respect them, and for them to respect us, and to appreciate each other's thoughts and opinions.
Crawley with a lead through the nose, 3-6-10. Starting to feel just like the way the Kovalova Pate match started to feel, as Crawley now lost this lead. She now trails by 2 pins.
I don't want to jinx her. Hey! That is Verity's least favorite spare. I believe she calls it the Verity. She practices it so much. She knows that it's her least favorite. It could be it could be the second frame of qualifying, as we see Verity taking a moment to change her tape. It could be the second frame of qualifying, and I promise you, she celebrates making the 3-6-10 just like that. She's pumped.
I would celebrate 3-6-10s and 3-10s and 3-6-9-10s every single time.
Yeah, 3-6-9-10s and buckets are the ones for me.
Crawley. There's a good one. Good shot in the 7th. Lauren Pate still has the advantage.
Absolutely. It's a great shot from B. Small move to the left, keeps it in front of her, playing catch with the 3-pin. Just keeping things quite simple.
Lauren to keep this lead. Good for another one here in the 7th. That looks good. And it's again just that lazy 10-pin there, that lazy really 6-pin. As we get a good look at it again. Six-pin just labored.
Absolutely. Lauren is much more to the right of the pocket than Verity is. You can see that her ball down lane is getting outside of the 3-pin, more in between the 3-6. So she's asking for the ball to hook a lot more than Verity is. And when we think about the rev rate difference and the rotation difference, you would wonder if Lauren should be a little bit closer to the head pin. It might be just a slight parallel move to use more of the head pin, and then the 6-pin going into the 10 rather than into the gutter.
Lauren now nursing just a 1-pin advantage. You see your score, bottom of your screen. Max score for Lauren now 237. Crawley can max at 246. Top seed Birgit Noreiks will face the winner of this match for the Grand Rapids Classic Championship. Pate, 10-pin again. 7-pin does fall. And it's been a game of 10-pin roulette, if you will. Will it fall? Will it not?
Absolutely. When you get this far left on this 44-foot pattern, we cannot ask for our ball to hook and go through the pins from there every single time. It is going to happen every once in a while, but it's going to have to be perfect off of her hand. And the thing about bowling is perfection isn't really attainable. So we have to find a way to be imperfect and still get great results.
Even match for the moment. Crawley, opportunity to take the lead here in the 8th. You see the setup. The deep breath, the patented flower in the hair. Push a little. 7-pin lead. On the 24 at the arrows there, Sid. I don't know what pin flipped the 7-pin from behind.
One of the other 9. No, you could hear Verity's friends in the back. She let go of that when you could hear them say, you know, push, go. That lane's starting to hook a little bit more.
Big time opportunity here for Verity. Leading by 10. Trying to increase. There it is.
I love how much fun Verity is having. I don't think we see that from her all too often. She's quite serious while she's bowling, the qualifying and throughout the rounds of match play. And I shouldn't even say serious. She's just so routined. You know, we see her, she's so routine. She comes back, she drinks her water, she journals.
Disciplined.
Very disciplined. And this week with her friend Haley here, and now sitting at the table with, you know, 3 of her other friends in addition to Haley, she's just having a little bit more fun. We're seeing the lighthearted side of her in the settee area.
Lauren Pate. Oh, what a shot that was in the 9th frame. Got ourselves another situation here coming down the stretch of our semifinal match.
Absolutely. That one was much closer to the head pin than the last. You saw it. It did not get further right than the middle of the 3-pin, and that is the difference between the flat 10s that we saw from her in the last 2 frames and that perfect 10 back that we just saw from her on lane 30.
Right now for Lauren, it's a simple situation. All 3 in the 10th gets her to 226. That will force Crawley to strike in the first shot in the 10th to win the match and advance. Anything less than that, of course, it changes for Verity and in her favor. What a shot. Getting them to fall and bounce high in the air. Watch these pins.
It's a great shot from Lauren. I love that she moved closer to the head pin. You know, her shot making this game has been phenomenal. We've seen 3 10-pins from her and 2 2-pins. There's nothing short of great bowling. When you're bowling Verity Crawley, 9 spare more than likely isn't going to win you the match. You're going to have to find a way to have a couple triples in there.
Huge shot. Pate. Oh, the 7-pin again. We've seen the 7-pin go in many different ways in this match. This time it was a slight nudge. Like, come on, please get on out of there. Oh.
The light mixer strikes again.
Again, we mentioned Pate strikes here. That's 226. It would force Verity to get the first one in the 10th. If Lauren gets 9 here, there's the possibility of a tie. And certainly you keep going down the list of fill shot counts. Needs it. Has it. What a shot. What a 10th frame for Lauren Pate. A clean 226. And it's simple. Strike. 6 for Verity Crawley. She will advance to the title match. Has to have the first. It goes. Sid, the light mixer, working hard here in this match.
When you go to a bowling center, you have to pay attention if you're going to win titles to what type of strikes fall down. You know, sometimes we see the trip force that fall all the time, the high flush hits. Here at Spectrum Lanes, so far from yesterday to today, on this 44-foot pattern that we've been bowling on, the light mixers tend to carry.
That is plenty for Verity Crawley, and she is going to advance to face Birgit Noreiks for the first title in this Classic Series here in Grand Rapids, Wyoming, Michigan. What a week, or I should say a start to the week for Lauren Pate. Again, folks, if you're just joining us, this Classic Series features 3 events in 1 week. This is the first of those 3. And Lauren Pate in her first championship round appearance, Sydney, I would say she performed about as well as you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she executed extremely well.
For the PWBA Grand Rapids Classic.
And it's just a matter of, you know, should I have made that move to the left a little bit quicker? Made sure that I got the ball in front of the 3-pin a little bit quicker? Well, the answer is no, because Verity hadn't been striking that much, right? 9 spare through halfway through that match, felt like it was going to win. Lauren was leading. But now we saw those tables turn. Verity gets even just this much more lined up, and when Verity hits the 1-3, usually strikes.
235 to 226, Crawley defeats Pate and advances to face the #1 seed, Birgit Noreiks of Germany. Coming up next, a word from Storm, again a proud gold partner, and following that, the final bowling ball giveaway of the evening, also courtesy of Storm. Back with you in a bit here on Bowl TV.
Introducing SPI Plus, a new digital magazine monthly from Storm. This month, practical advice from Danielle McEwen on setting goals and reaching them. Practice tips from Shannon O'Keefe and SPI Plus columns on your fit, fitness, even traveling tips. SPI Plus. Visit stormbowling.com, enter promo code 2023 and get the entire year free. Take your game to the next level with SPI Plus.
And the final bowling ball giveaway now officially ongoing on Bowl TV. Make sure, again, if you are watching in full screen, hop on out of full screen so you can see the prompts, so you can actually click submit entry. That's how you get into this final Storm bowling ball giveaway. Again, thank you to Storm, Rotogrip, and Brunswick, and congrats to our earlier winners. Sydney Brummett back with us here as we get ready for this championship match here for the Grand Rapids Classic on Bowl TV. Sid, the #1 seed, Birgit Noreiks. It is her time. The top seed, of course, 1 game to take home this championship. But Verity Crawley looked to certainly get lined up late, figured out perhaps that transition. Certainly, both Lauren Pate did as well. Verity first to get there in that sense. Where can we expect Birgit to play and kind of put her stamp potentially on this match?
Yeah, Birgit's going to be pretty close to where Lauren was, not too far right of Verity. Really, I think this match is just going to be who can strike the most. We're going to see both women play their A game. Birgit loves these longer patterns. Verity loves to be a little bit further left than everybody else. It's going to come down to who can make the best 10 shots throughout this game.
Take a look at Birgit again with Jeff Smith watching on. She was, again, super consistent throughout. We talked about spare shooting, and she missed 1 makeable spare, and it was in the final game of match play in the position round. When you have that type of week or a couple of days of spare shooting, that's always going to keep you in position to make a run. Add that to winning matches, bowling, not big games, no 260, 270 games, but she only shot under 200 once the entire 24 games. That's going to get you more times than not in a championship final or championship situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Birgit has just been extremely consistent. She had that one off week that we saw from her in Spokane, and I was following her, and what was so interesting is the positive outlook that she had on it. She said, yeah, I'm just going to use the rest of these games of qualifying here in Spokane to get cozy, and then next week at the Queens I have 15 games. She was the reigning champion. She's like, I have 15 games to figure it out. It's all going to be okay, basically. And she was so positive. She's like, I have the rest of the season. And that type of resilience, I think, is what makes her, such a champion.
Speaking of champions, she's a 3-time champion. Won her first major last year at the USBC Queens. I asked her when we briefly talked to her on Bowl TV yesterday what it was like to kind of return to the Queens, come back in and see all of her, or essentially see her face everywhere on all of that week's obviously promotional items, and to really give it the best run that you can give it as a defending champion. She was almost back in the 4-player shootout match as well. What makes Birgit, again, as we talked about it, so strong for me, I think she sometimes often gets overlooked, but she let people know very early on. You go back to 2015, 300 at the Queens. Then 2016 makes the show at the Queens, finally breaking through, winning the PWBA, PBA, striking against breast cancer mixed doubles. But then was like, nah, because people are saying I can't win on my own. Breaks through, wins her first singles title, and really hasn't looked back since that point.
Absolutely. I got the pleasure of crossing with her in Stockton. Hadn't really before. And she was so fierce and fearless in everything that she did. It was incredible to watch her make a run at that title. I believe she finished right outside of the show. And so now seeing her here, back on a telecast, back on a TV show, I think it's a matter of time before we see Birgit win again, and it could be here tonight.
Her titles again coming back in 2017 with the Lucy with Jason Sterner. Then in 2021, as part of a classic series, she won the Go Bowling Classic in Arlington, Texas at the ITRC in 2021. And then, as mentioned, the USBC Queens in 2022 in Addison, Illinois. She'll reset lane 29 and get herself a full rack. 6-time German Player of the Year, and Sydney Brummett for the 4th and final time. The higher seed has chosen to begin the match on the left lane.
You know that TikTok sound? Let's just do a quick wrap around. Do it again. We're going to see Birgit here in her first frame, throwing the new Stealth Pearl from track.
Solid opening shot, leaves a 10-pin. 10-pins obviously have been common if you have been watching since the start.
Birgit was so funny the first week. She leaves her spare ball on the truck throughout the year. And she got it off of the truck, and we were in Stockton, and we were bowling the practice session. She goes, I just need to shoot spares. I need to make friends with this thing again.
Well.
And I thought it was so funny. She was using our hour-and-a-half practice to really get cozy with her spare ball.
Well, they got reacquainted pretty quickly.
They did.
Based on her performance to this point. Verity Crawley coming off a win against Lauren Pate, 235 to 226. Win strike, 9 spare to secure the victory. And starts with a heartbreaker for me. Oh. Shot to the heart, and you're too late.
It's better than a wrap 10.
8-pin.
In my opinion.
You give love a bad name.
Verity chooses to go straight at that 8-pin. We will see players occasionally with those pins in the middle part of the lane choose to hook at them. I appreciate Verity's choice to go straight at hers.
Well, I just hope that's, you don't want that omen. That's not what you want to see when you start a match.
No, but I'm telling you, like, at least you didn't do something wrong.
It's fair.
Sometimes bad things happen to good people.
Excellent opening shot. That's all you can ask for, certainly. The only thing better, repeat that shot in that execution. Second frame, Crawley. That one falls. The bowling pin carry right there on the side of Crawley there, representing England.
A little bit to the right of the 3-pin down lane. You probably heard Diana and Daria yell hook, simply because that left lane wants to hook early and then is tighter down lane.
You see a good look at that piece of equipment there, the Stealth Pearl for Birgit. Push a little. Perfect.
The Stealth Pearl has the brand new HK22 from the Brands of Brunswick cover on it. It's cleaner and quicker than any of the covers that we've seen from that brand in a long time. As a member of their staff, I was really excited about it. I tend to favor it. I love it. With my slower ball speed, it helps me get through the front part of the lane. So when they're broken down like this, Birgit and a lot of the players from the Brands of Brunswick family are going to lean more towards that HK22 cover to allow them to get through the front part of the lane the right way. Seeing a ball change in the left lane from Birgit to a troublemaker.
And this time, 7-pin stands. We've seen that 7-pin be kind for many players here during our step ladder. Get that one right just a touch.
Just a little bit. The troublemaker is a big asymmetric piece if you use a thumb. The ball was designed in particular for players that use 2 hands and no thumb, but players who still use a thumb can also use the ball. It just makes it a purely symmetric piece.
Technology and innovation at its finest. There's the spare from Birgit. Our stepladder rundown. This thing started way back. Our opening match, the number 4 seed Hope Gramley versus the 5th seed Dasha Kovalova. Dasha dominated Hope 265 to 178. She advanced to face Lauren Pate, making her first championship round appearance. She defeated her 225 to 207. Third frame, indeed.
It was uncharacteristic from Verity, seeing her fall off a shot a little bit.
That is a rarity for Verity. She's got a 10-pin lead. And the match you just saw, of course, Verity Crawley. A very stout effort by Lauren Pate. Crawley edged Lauren 235 to 226. Here's our championship match. Top seed Birgit Noreiks of Germany, Verity Crawley of England, an all-international final, which sums up so perfectly how important the PWBA Tour really is. How about a triple? Indeed.
Verity's looking quite stable right now. Seeing the lane well. That's the benefit of not being the number 1 seed. Being the number 1 seed is lovely because you only have to bowl 1 game, win 1 game to win the title. However, the downside is the person you're bowling has at least 1 game on the pair, which frankly means they have more experience on the pair. They're seeing the lanes a little bit probably better than you are.
Noreiks down 20 early. She has been money so far on this right lane. She's thrown some very good shots to start. There's another one. And said what Birgit told me before the start of the step ladder all week, or the first 2 days, excuse me. She just tried to keep it close, keep the bowling ball close to the pocket. And you can see, obviously, that strategy is still in play.
Absolutely. It looks like she's going to stick with the troublemaker that she made the ball change to in the third frame on this left lane. My hope would be similarly to what Lauren Pate was doing. She was just a little bit too far the right side of the 3-pin on the last shot. Hopefully it's a little bit further left than that.
Looks better. And it is.
That looks like the very simple difference to me between the ones that flat 10, both for Birgit and Lauren in the previous match, than the ones that strike.
Lead cut to 10 for Verity as we head to the 5th frame. Fast-moving championship match. Just past the 8 o'clock hour Eastern time. Emil Williams Jr. with Sydney Brummett. Jason Thomas, our producer. Patrick Martinez capturing video. Cecil Scarborough, our booth statistician. Live from Spectrum Lanes in Wyoming, Michigan. And Verity heard that door open. It is an entertainment complex, so there's business going around the building, so she will reset. Again, shout out to Mike Eaton Jr., Mike Hoffman, the entire Eaton family, and everyone here associated with Spectrum Lanes. VC, are you with me? Yes, you are.
Light hit continues to carry. The ball set up, it went very forward down lane, right in front of the 3-pin. Feels like it barely touches the head pin.
By the way, congrats to all of our bowling ball giveaway winners. Again, we'll reiterate, if you won a bowling ball tonight, be on the lookout for an email from the Bowl TV marketing squad. Get all of your details to get you your bowling ball, again, courtesy of Brunswick, Roto Grip, and Storm. How about another? High flush indeed. Crawley with a fist pump after that one.
Verity right now has to be nowhere near perfect. She just has to get it close. And that really frees up the arm swing when you're the player who has the opportunity to just say, all right, if I get up here and slide where I'm supposed to and throw the ball in the relative area of where I'd like to, it probably is going to strike. You feel pretty good.
That 5-bagger increased the lead for Crawley to 30 pins. But Birgit got that look. She's not going anywhere. 6th frame offering push. 3-6. You feel that the way Verity is handling the lanes at the moment, one false move from Birgit could be curtains.
Absolutely. What's unique about Birgit is that she actually drifts to the right throughout her approach. Her walking pattern takes her to the right. And so occasionally we will see a miss to the left. When you walk right, your swing has to come with you just a little bit. And we see hers do that. So oftentimes her misses are to the left. However, on patterns like this, that's going to be in her favor as long as she is initially far enough left.
Birgit takes care of the 3-6, now trailing by 32 pins. Championship match. First event of the long Classic Series week here. Wyoming, Michigan, the Grand Rapids area. Essentially week 4 of the PWBA Tour. Next week, tour heads to Cleveland, Ohio, suburban Cleveland, and Yorktown Lanes. The Cottrell family will welcome the PWBA back. Good break there, just leaving a 2-pin.
Absolutely. It looked as if she missed that one at the bottom just a little bit. We can see her kind of stand up out of that one quickly. As a player, oftentimes I am not one very often to throw 2 different bowling balls on 2 different lanes. Now, this did happen to me once this season where I did throw 2 balls on 2 different lanes simply because they were quite a bit different. The topography allowed me to do so. But they were quite different. Verity is showing, and Lauren and the other girls are showing, they're not different enough that you can't throw the same bowling ball. It's probably creating more comfort for them to throw the same bowling ball. Birgit right now looks a little uncomfortable. It'd be interesting to see what would have happened if she would have stuck with the same ball on both lanes.
I flush again for Verity Crawley. And boy, you can start to feel it a little bit. 6 in a row for Verity. Look at this angle she's playing.
Old school fallback action.
Lead is down to 43 pins. Crawley looking for her 2nd PWBA title. That first came back 2021 Greater Nashville Open at Smyrna, Tennessee. She made 6 championship round appearances in 2021 that season. Won her first title that year. 13th career championship round appearance here tonight. Is it lucky 13? Oh, what a shot.
I'm telling you, those are not cute. They are not. 0 out of 10 for me. Like, it's giving sad, you know?
That was good news, certainly, for Mrs. Noreiks. Shout out to the Noreiks family, husband Toby, all of her family and friends. She needed to see a non-strike. It's a good frame there, a good professional frame for Verity Crawley. Pace in the 240s right now. Max score for Birgit, 237. The max for, in case you aren't scoring at home, 269 for Verity Crawley. But 8th frame, 9th frame, first one here for Birgit. These are must strikes here. Oh, and another. App 10, boy, oh boy. Especially at this point in the match, devastating leave.
Absolutely, my heart hurts for the wrap 10s in every single pin throughout qualifying. I was curious, and I keep my stats while I bowl. I left 46 single pins in 12 games, 43 of them in the pocket. And it was simply because, you know, after watching second round of match play today in the show, it's very clear to me that I was just too far to the right at the 3-pin, and that's why. It's so clear. I wish it was clearer while I was bowling.
Winner will receive $10,000. Runner-up will take home $5,000. Third place took home $3,500. $2,500 for 4th. $2,000 for 5th. This one to keep any chance alive realistically. And a 4-pin there for Noreiks. Now we're looking at 215 at best.
It's one of the best shots we've seen from Birgit this entire match. It was extremely online. Got out of it well. And what's tough about the situation is the other shots weren't quite as in front of her as I would have loved to have seen. And so when they weren't as in front of her as we probably would have liked, and then she throws one that's great, it's now we know, man, I probably should have moved a little bit.
A winning type of moment right here for Verity Crawley. Nine is plenty, folks. You always hope for a strike in those situations just to make the moment a little bit better. But mathematically, this one is complete. Verity Crawley, who does so much from a fan perspective, has her own Patreon full of members, giving them the behind-the-scenes look at what she's doing, ball arsenals, how her rounds and tournaments are going. Well, that Patreon family is rocking tonight. And a big smile for Verity Crawley.
You know, I love this for V simply because she works so hard. You know, I will say I don't think there is a single person on tour who is more committed to improving herself and improving her bowling than Verity.
There's a nice victory lap right there, the fist pump. Verity Crawley, champion today at the 2023 PWBA Grand Rapids Classic, and she joins us now here on Bowl TV. First of all, congratulations. I love your wave. You got the trophy in hand, and boy, that is well earned. 235, 258, your respective scores in the finals today. Verity, obviously, it's been 2 seasons since you won your first title, and those who I've talked to in the past who've won that first one certainly want to win that second one so they can feel like, hey, I belong, I know I can do this, and all of the above. For you, what does number 2 mean for you?
I don't think I can really put into words what it means. I think it's a combination of knowing that all of the work that you do in the off season, like, you're doing it for a purpose, right? Sometimes it's so frustrating to think, why am I practicing? Like, why am I constantly doing this? And why am I going to tournaments? Like, what is the point of this? So I think that in the end, everyone wants the reward. And as much as I scream process, 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 like, you still want the result, right? So it's like that satisfying feeling of like, okay, it is right to follow the process.
The opportunity for you to be here, of course, as well. We talked about you missed the cut at the Queens. You went home, able to reset mentally, meet your baby niece for the first time. How important was that trip home for you when you sit back here and look at this trophy and the first 2-day event that we've had here in Grand Rapids?
Yeah, that was a trip that I had planned because I knew that mentally, if I didn't go home, I'd be a mess. You know, like, seeing pictures, I can't even talk about it. Seeing pictures of the baby and not being there, like, I already feel like it's such a sacrifice to be so far away from home. And it's hard, you know, I hate it. Like, as much as I love bowling in the US, like, I love my family too. So it's kind of one of those things, like, I knew I had to go. Fortunately, in a way, I didn't make the cut at Queen, so I flew home early. You know, I got 3 extra days at home, which was quite monumental, actually, because I got to practice a bit more than I was planning on. I had a couple of really good sessions with my coach from home. And talking about it helped, obviously. I kind of spoke to him and vented and went off on one a little bit about how Queens was, and we worked a little bit on ball motion and kind of figured out, or I feel like I figured out what I wanted to kind of bring to the table for the next swing, and yeah. It's hard. It's hard.
It's amazing that you get to go home and, you know, finding the optimism in things that don't necessarily go right. So you have your family at home that you love so much, and the other side of that is you have this entire community of people that you've grown, right? All those people that I know you're going to be super excited to post about Patreon on this one. How much does it mean to have those people, you know, come and watch you bowl? What has been their influence on you, and how have they affected you being able to win here today?
It is so cool. Like, so amazing. Like, I couldn't even imagine when I started Patreon, like, I didn't know what to expect. You know, it's like anything. You start something new and it's like, should I really be doing this? It was COVID. It's like everyone's trying something new. But the support that I have received from it is, like, actually phenomenal. And I'm just so happy that again, I want to be able to provide value to them, and I like to believe that I do that, and I feel like the support I get back shows that. And you know, they come to events. I have a couple guys here from this event, and they watch me from pair to pair. Like at the Queens, I had a couple of guys that I'm averaging 180 and they don't leave me alone. And not in a bad way at all, but just in the sense of like they stick by me and they like to see the bad, because we're all human, right? It happens. And I think sometimes that's what's so great. I'm 100% transparent, and they get to follow me on my journey, and then I also get to help them as much as I can, and I'm continually learning as well. It's not to say that I know everything, so it's just kind of letting them in on the things that I found out. So I am very thankful for them and everyone. You know, social media in general, sometimes it's extremely overwhelming and sometimes I hate it, but the support from it and the ability to be able to reach people all over the world, I think it's very fantastic.
Verity, just briefly, the pair of lanes, certainly in U's 29 and 30, obviously had a few matches before you got there. A very close match with Lauren Pate. She performed in the 10th, forced you to strike. What overall was the difference that you saw between the two lanes, and ultimately what helped you defeat Lauren and then get lined up against Birgit in the title match?
In practice, I thought that I had the right lane being tighter. And I actually wrote down in my notes, which you'll find on Patreon. I wrote down in my notes, like, maybe I would want to finish on that lane. And then as I started bowling, I actually think it got earlier, and I was a little bit deeper on the right lane than I was on the left lane. The left lane seemed to just push through it a little bit easier.
Sid, final question.
What do you take from this into the rest of the week?
I'm throwing it good.
Simple.
Simple. I could say about 55 more things, but we're going to leave it at that.
Leave it simple.
Well, congratulations, Verity. Job well done. Your week is not over, certainly, so continued success. That's right. Early wake-up call tomorrow, but enjoy it as best as you can.
I will. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
That is Verity Crawley, ladies and gentlemen, your Grand Rapids Classic champion of 2023. What a moment for Verity, England, and certainly her entire family. So, for Verity Crawley, Sydney Brummett, my name is Emil Williams Jr. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. Verity Crawley, a champion here today. This has been the presentation of the 2023 PWBA Grand Rapids Classic. You watched it live and only on BowlTV.com. Bowling lives here.
Great shot. Come on. Yeah!
Needs it.